this time we're following around Bombstick in his IS6 on Westfield. Before I talk about the battle, I just want to give a big up to Bombstick. He's been one of my longest and favorite platoon mates, seriously. He might only have whatever 1650 WN8. It doesn't matter. It's just really one of those platoon mates you can count on to always be with you, cover you, shield you, play as a platoon and not, play as 3 damage padders in the same battle, basically. If you're a good player, you will get what I mean, I think. So just big up to you. Really nice platooning with you, Bombstick. Otherwise, he is in a tier 8 battle here on Westfield. There is only one RT, a tier 6 RT. The enemy team, or actually both teams, have quite a couple of TDs. 4 on both sides. 5 in our team, I guess, or his team. And skill-wise, the battle looks rather even. With basically a lot of mediocre players and 1 or 2 good players in both teams. Anyway, he decides to go for this ridgeline area, which I really recommend. Well, I really recommend doing it. I for sure think it's a very powerful position, and it's much better than going back here or camping here in the back or whatever. The only other option you have, in my opinion, in a heavy tank is going in the city, which can work too. But if you have a bit of turret armor and a bit of gun depression and alpha, that's really the most important thing around here. This is a really powerful position you can make use of. Yeah, it's... First of all, this position... Wait, sorry for that, as always. This position exists from both sides, yeah, and the other side is this area. To be honest, I find that this general position is stronger from that flank, because you can also shoot into the city much easier. But then again, you could argue you can also go up on this ridgeline and shoot into the city. You just have to expose yourself a bit more. And it really allows you to get great flank shots into your enemies. While you are above them, which is always a nice advantage, and you create a second flank and so on. He tries to go for the G34 Cupola, bounces. He's already done 2 nice shots of damage, and yeah. It's slow work really around here. You can really see the derpiness of the IS6 gun. Penetration is rather bad, accuracy is bad, aim time is horrible, but it still gets nice DPM and a nice alpha. And it's not a tank I have, but it's a tank I've been, like talking and reading and whatever a lot about, because it's, one of the most favorite or most used or whatever you want to call it tier 8 premium tanks, and it's really good. Just that. Well, if you compare it to an i3, which of course does not get special matchmaking, but which is still the most compared tank to, you actually get a bit more DPM, and the armor is just very good all around. On the i3, the frontal armor is mediocre and very pike-shaped, which is very bad if you are against multiple enemies. And the side armor is very strong in some parts, but very weak between the tracks, basically. While on the i6, the side armor is consistently very good. The only weakness being a small part here between the spaced armor and the bottom of the tank, like right here. Otherwise, this is spaced armor, this is armor and angled, and I think it's spaced too. And the frontal armor, it's a bit weird, because you've got this flat part, angled backwards but not angled sideways, and these 2 cheeks. But you can actually angle this tank, and it's very reliable all around armor. It's not epic armor, but it's just the same everywhere, more or less, which really allows it to bully lower tier tanks like incredibly well, basically. Anyway, battle has moved on and on and on. Bombstick has done 2,353 damage for the moment. His team is down by 2 tanks. They have enemy tanks in their base, and he's kind of stuck here for the moment. He sees the i6 go out. Does a really nice move right there. He does 2 really nice moves. First of all, he angles before shooting, and the second one is, you see, he only saw a small part of the enemy i6's armor there, and he goes for the track. For one, of course, it's for tracking the enemy, but also if he would have shot a bit higher, if he would have shot this area here, he would have probably bounced, because that's part of the upper plate, and even a bit more back in the side would have been the spaced armor, which would have probably bounced too. It's really important with the IS6 that you know exactly where to shoot. And yeah, if you manage to do that, it's really a very powerful tank. He gets a very unlucky bounce there on the SU-152. For the moment he's full life, but yeah, the SU-152 puts a heat shell straight through the turret, which is probably the main armor weakness of the tank. And he loses a lot of health there. Now he's against the KV-5, who still has 1300 HP, but just lost a lot to both the Hyro from bombstic and a shot from the Sture Emil in the back. And here again you can see bombstic is always angling his armor. He's never pointing it straight at the enemy, he's never showing his side. He's always slightly angling it, wiggling a bit of course, because that's what good players do. And yeah, just stopping to shoot and aim for weak spots. Here again you see he goes forward, being angled, give 5 bounces, he immediately stops, aims and penetrates. Now he's only got a T-25-2 left on his team. And the enemy team are pushing everywhere. He gets a very nice and very important kill there on the T-71, who would have otherwise probably taken out the T-25-2 and come on his flank. And now he's kind of a tricky situation. There's a very low life T-69 over there, but it's still a very dangerous tank, especially as it's hold down, it has decent gun depression and rather good turret armor for a tank like an IS6. And he's too far away even to be reliably hit. And then also kind of in his flank is a T-25-2, or at least more in front of him, also using the gun depression. And on top of that, there's still the artillery in the enemy team, which will hit him sometime. Right now he's just wiggling forwards and backwards, trying to bounce an enemy shot. He doesn't know, are they in bushes, have they gone away, what is going on. You can see he falls back a bit more behind the building to get safe from RT. And then believing he's unspotted now, he goes in the bush to try and get a first shot on the enemies. Now, as the enemies haven't been showing themselves for a while, I guess he's believing they're going to cap, which would make complete sense if I were them. So he decides that he has to go forward. He goes in this area where the T-25-2 was last spotted, and he's not spotted anymore. He's not in this area. And also the cap counter just went off for 1-2 seconds, so he knows at least one enemy is in the cap circle, or in the area of the cap circle. Now he doesn't want to go down here. He's doing a nice move for 2 reasons. First of all, he's not going down towards the cap, leaving the T-69 on the ridgeline above him, who would be able to easily clip him out. Also he would come, if the T-69 were actually in the cap, from an unexpected direction. He does a really nice job here again, not trying to shoot the T-69 turret when he was hold down and whatever. He goes forward, eats a shot, because, you know, it's what it has to be, but then gets into close range and is able to shoot his side easily. Bombstic has actually run out of AP ammunition in this game, and yeah, is now forced to shoot APCR. I want to note that he did not shoot a single APCR round before he ran out of AP. Anyway, he still does a nice move, moving along behind the ridgeline and cover for a while to get unspotted and maybe surprise the enemy a bit if he was trying to get a shot on him. Now the T-25-2 is here. He goes out of the cap when bombstick arrives, which is probably not that bad an idea, but he just tries to hide behind the building, which is a clear mistake in my opinion. Especially as he leaves bombstick on the side of the building, which is RT safe, most probably. But then, yeah, the T-25-2 manages to penetrate him once, and decides it's his time for luck. Bombstick puts one into him after the T-25-2 misses. Angles well. Again, notice every time he can, he's angling. Showing his front, more or less. I don't know, 30-degree angle. And, yeah, surprisingly. Well, basically, right now he's staying behind the building to be RT safe. The thing about this tank is that if you angle, you make this plate weaker, or this plate weaker. But you make a small part of your armor slightly weaker, and make the rest of it, which is the side and the frontal part and the side part or the cheek you're not angling, even stronger. And it's definitely something I recommend you do. Anyway, there's only RT left now in the enemy team. Of course, artillery can one-shot him. This is, you know, always a annoying situation if RT is just standing in a bush, waits until you come, and then kills you. Anyway, yeah, times 4 speeding it right now because, you know, watching a tank drive around hunting for RT is never the most fascinating thing ever. And there RT gets spotted, RT misses, bombstick misses, and then knowing the RT is still reloading, he takes him out. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. So in that game, bombstick got an ace tanker, got a Spartan medal, got a Ready Walters medal for 8 kills, Top Gun of course as well, a high caliber, not very surprising, and a steel wall, not very surprising either, considering the result. He did 5,757 damage and blocked 3,180 damage with his armor. Just showing you how powerful the armor is in a tier 8 game. Against tier 9 it's a completely different situation, but in tier 8 games the armor is very powerful, and the gun it's able to do its job, especially the tank is also mobile enough to get where it needs to be, which is basically in the face of the enemies most of the time. So yeah, he also got 1,805 raw experience, which is a massive result. Might even be better than the best I ever had, but I could be wrong. Anyway, he earned 162,843 credits brutto, out of which only 95,000 or nearly 96,000 were actually net profit, which is also due to him running out of AP and shooting all his APCR shells in this rather epic carry. Yeah, not much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.